There are things in life more painful than physical injury. For example, hearing your own voice on recording. Who is that person? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Situations or experiences in life that you don't necessarily think about as much. And we're going to go ahead and read a list of them and rank them from S tier being like, you know what, that is a good experience, or F being like, that's abysmal, terrible, I never want to go through that again. Welcome back, everybody, to the Detour podcast. I hope you are all having a wonderful beginning of your week so far. I know I am, and I just love being here. Weekly recap before we get into the topic. The only thing that really has happened is my mom, stepdad, and sister flew in from North Carolina to visit my family and I. So they've been here the past couple of days, and that's been really, really fun to just kind of go out, hang out with them, go eat some food, kind of do whatever families do when they're catching up and meeting, whatever. Other than that, I would say that there really hasn't been much going on in my week. That's probably like the biggest thing. So without further ado, let's just jump right into this topic for the week. I think we should start with some social experiences. The list I got starts with it, and it has a really good example. Accidentally waving back at someone who wasn't waving back at you. In this situation, you have two ways to go about it. One, you own it. You have confidence, even if they are like, huh? You're just like, it is what it is. I did it. What up? I'm the man or woman, right? Second, you try to play it off. Scratch my head, yawn, stretch, my wrist hurts, something like that. Either way, you got to commit to one of the two. You can't be like, because then you make the situation worse. I would say out of like an S, A, B, C, D, F tier, being like, again, F is just the worst, S being it's a great experience, I'd say, I don't know, like a D. I mean, maybe a C. I don't think it's the worst thing that you could possibly experience. It can be awkward if you don't own it however you react, but I definitely think there's a lot worse experiences out there. Number 2, walking the same direction as someone after saying goodbye. Also, I think that's probably like a C as well, like right in the middle. It's not the worst. It could be awkward, but again, you make it awkward. So I really do feel like, you know, even if it's, hey, have a good night, like it was great to catch up, and then you walk together, we'll talk to them again, right? Make a joke about the fact that you guys said, you know, peace, and we're expecting you to go separate ways, but you didn't, because it's kind of funny, more funny than it is awkward. So just be confident in your decisions, and just don't think things are as awkward as they are. Because I think being awkward, or having a situation be awkward, is all how you perceive it. Because I could view something as awkward that my sister or my friends won't. So it's like, it's kind of different, right? Let's see. This one doesn't make sense, but I'll kind of reword it. Being, like, I guess in an instance, being aware of how you walk, and then being overly conscious about it. So then you start to kind of like, do I walk weird? Do I stand weird? And then you start to walk abnormally, and then you can kind of tell that like, now I can't stop thinking about how I walk. Anything that kind of falls along those lines of being too aware of a certain thing that you become super self-conscious about it, and you start to make corrections that almost look like unnatural and inhuman. I think that's going to be a D, because again, it has to do with your perception. And if you're already perceiving the way I walk, or, you know, I'm waving to somebody, or is my smile, or the way I'm like, my natural face is to look like I'm a freak. Like if you're going to perceive that as like awkward, yeah, then it's going to be awkward. So I think, I mean, there could be way worse things, but I think it's pretty low on things of like, that's pretty bad. Let's see, laughing too hard at an unfunny joke. I do that all the time because the unfunny jokes tend to come from me sometimes, and I think they're funny. Nobody else does. So I guess in perception of it, it's like deemed unfunny because nobody thinks it's funny other than me. But I laugh at it because I think I'm hilarious. You all think you should. Holy crap, dude! My brain is fried today. You should all think that you are hilarious. I think there's worse things than that. That's probably like a C. I'd say that's the middle of the tier. They're all kind of depressing, these ones. They're not like too on like the other side of the scales, you know? Let's see, let's move on to digital era experiences. So we just finished our social experiences. I'd say, if you don't find things that awkward, it's going to be middle of the road. It's all the perception of it. But looking at some of these digital era ones, I think, yeah, some of these are terrible, like the worst things that could happen to you. And I think anybody could feel that way. First thing, seeing typing disappear after you've sent something, like a text that means a lot. That is emotional terrorism. That's terrible. You're like expecting, oh my gosh, I gotta wait for their response, and you see typing, and it's up for like 30 seconds, and then all of a sudden charges it, and it's no longer there, and they're not typing back. You're like, oh my gosh. That's gotta be like one of the worst things, especially if you're, for instance, texting that sweet thing of yours, right? To tell them how you feel, or you're sending like a text that's, you know, a little out of your comfort zone, but it's because, you know, you're gutsing it up, right? That is the worst. Because then all of a sudden your stomach sinks to the bottom of the depths of hell, and you're just like, oh my gosh. So I'd say that's, for me, an F. Worst thing that could be possibly happen. Oh my goodness, accidentally liking an old photo. Your life literally flashes before your eyes. That's so bad. Especially because I know everybody, and I have been told everybody will stalk like Instagram accounts and look through old photos. And I mean, back in the day, I've done that, and it's just like, oh no. So I have to quickly unlike it, because I'm like, I'd rather just have it be like, oh, it's an accidental like, or something like that, make up an excuse if they reach out. But I think that's the worst, especially if you're like stalking your crush or something like that on Instagram. Oh my gosh, yeah. I'd say that's F, because you're so embarrassed, and who knows who they tell, if they tell anybody, right? So, dang, this one's starting off with 2 Fs, man. Re-listening to a voice message before sending it. Similar to the example at the beginning. Yeah. It's like you sound so uncomfortable. And it almost is like, I don't know why voices when you're speaking sound different on recording. And I think once you listen to it enough, you can kind of like, it's like almost like this, and then they slowly start to get in sync and make the connection of like, okay, that does kind of sound like me. But initially you're like, why do I sound so freaking gross? Or like if you're singing for fun and it's on recording, you're like, am I that terrible? And it's probably just because you sound different in your head than you do, like, than other people, to other people. Sorry, golly, my brain can't think of the words. So maybe it's just like, oh, I just sound so different than the way I remember myself sounding, so I think it's terrible. But I think that's an E. I think there's a lot that's worse than that, but I think it's just so embarrassing to yourself to hear yourself and be like, ugh, right? Gross. Posting something and immediately regretting it. It depends, right? I think if you post it and nobody's seen it and it's only been up for a few minutes and then you delete it, no harm, no foul, nobody saw it. It doesn't it barely even existed. It only existed to you, right? But if you posted it, everybody saw it. So I think I'm going to put it on at D, because on both sides of the scale, I feel like if you saw it, nobody saw it, and you were able to delete it, I'd say to yourself, you're kind of embarrassed, so it'd be a C. But then to everybody else, if everybody saw it, that'd be an F. So I'd put it right in the middle of, just rethink, man. Think through when you post stuff. Unless you're like TikToks, if you're intentionally trying to post cringy and you don't care about that, that's fine. But if you're trying to be serious and it comes off really cringy and you know that it's cringy, just think about it before you post those things, because then they'll be on the internet forever. So think about it. Watching someone slowly type a breakup paragraph. Honestly, I'd say I'd say a C, because if you're watching your friend or somebody else type it, it really has nothing to do with you. So it's kind of like, ooh, don't say that, or ooh, this is a hard situation for them to be in. But for me personally, because it doesn't affect me, I just don't really care too much about that, right? So that was the last one of that section. I mean, it seems like for digital era, because we're all on devices and that's how we connect, it seems like a lot of it is actually genuinely super embarrassing, or not necessarily embarrassing, but like just the worst thing that could happen to you. So let's move right on to the next one, which makes, I think this matters, because if you're at the gym, there's a lot of times where you're like, I just want to shrivel up and die, right? So there's gym/confidence experiences. All right, making accidental eye contact at the gym repeatedly. Now, I personally don't think that's an issue. I like to look around and people watch, and if I look at somebody twice, it typically means, one, I'm like root for them, like, dang, they're killing it. Two, I see them all the time and I'm just like, oh, like in my head, like, good to see them again. Or I'd say three, it's almost just like I've never noticed them before, and it could be like, and they kind of stand out a bit. I'd say probably out of those three, but I'm not embarrassed to make eye contact with people. So I'd probably put it like a B, like, I think I'm more on the side of I don't care, and it's not a bad thing, than the more indifference. So I mean, for you, if you don't like making eye contact, just look at the floor, right? This one's a confidence one, and it goes with last week's episode of the male delusion, thinking you could win a fight against an animal, right? A lot of people have thought they could win a fight against a gorilla or like a monkey, or like a lion, tiger, something, and they're like, well, if I can get one good hit in, disorient it, then I got the advantage. I guarantee you it'll feel like breeze blowing on them if you hit them, because you don't have enough strength to do anything towards a beast like that, right? I think it's kind of embarrassing it's terrible when you're around someone who is so delusional they believe that they could actually take like an animal like that on. So I can kind of be like, ooh, like, I don't know, the whole world doesn't need to hear the fact that you think you could take a tiger on or a gorilla on and look at you worse than they probably already do, right? So it's just, that's an indifferent run, because I don't think I'm that delusional, but I do get secondhand embarrassment a lot, especially when people are dead serious. So put that at like a solid C, solid middle of the pack. Let's see. Getting a good haircut and becoming overconfident. I don't think there's such thing as being overconfident after getting a good haircut. If you think you look sexy as hell, I definitely think you should strut it, man. Like, everybody, I mean, someone may look at you and be like, that dude's cocky. And someone may look at you and be like, damn, he's sexy as hell, right? Or the same thing with a chick. Oh, she's so full of herself. Or, wow, she's gorgeous, right? So I think it's just, if you are confident in your hair, own it. Because as long as you're happy with it, it'll kind of like seep off of you, and other people will be like, I love the confidence. Like, look at this guy or girl strutting their new hairstyle. Like, they look good, right? So I'd probably put that as B as well, because I think I'm a little bit more on the side of there's nothing embarrassing about being confident after getting a haircut than the indifference of like, it is what it is, right? And those are the only ones that came from the gym/confidence ones. I'd say another gym one, lifting heavy weight that you usually can lift, but today you can't because everybody has like a weaker day. So on a weaker day, trying to lift weight you normally can lift, but you can't. So then other people may look at you and be thinking, this dude is ego lifting or this chick is ego lifting. I would say that's probably like a C minus, kind of like a D plus kind of tier, because it is really embarrassing of like, I normally can't do this. I've done it before. The past 2 weeks I've been able to lift it, but today for some reason I can't. And me lifting it and struggling really hard. Like, if people are looking at me and judging me, they're probably thinking I'm such a goon, right? Like, I'd say that's a pretty bad gym one. Let's see. Existential/funny experiences. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. These examples aren't really the best. Let me see if I could find some better ones. Ooh, fumbling a handshake. Someone comes to shake your hand or like dab you up or something, and you just mess it up. That can be really embarrassing because you're like, oh, this is my one time to like make an impression, right? And you just botched it. I'd say that's probably like a C minus D plus kind of tier. It could be way worse, but at the same time, just that initial, like that just like hurts your soul to miss that. Let's see some options. Tripping but pretending it didn't happen. I feel like I trip a lot when it comes to up the stairs. If the ground goes on like a slight incline, because my feet are walking flat, and then if it's like a slight incline, it goes, and I like just eat it. Or sidewalks when the square's like this, and you just totally hit the ledge. I'd say that's kind of bad. But then at the same time, if you laugh at yourself and you don't find it awkward, then nobody else is gonna be like, oh, that was embarrassing. You laugh at it, they laugh with you. It's just like a water under the bridge type situation. So I'd probably put that at like a C, because I don't think that's the worst. Oh my gosh, this is the worst thing. Forgetting why you walked into a room / forgetting what you were wanting to say. That is the worst thing ever, because sometimes you just cannot for the life of you remember what you wanted to do or wanted to say. And like, it was important. I told myself multiple times about it, and the reason I got up or started talking was because of this specific thing. And now you can't remember, and you probably will never remember. And then it eats at you because you can't remember. Now, on top of that, I would say for trying to remember someone's name or a word, it's on the tip of your tongue. Stop it. Hey, I said stop it. Stop. Forgetting like words or names or something like that, and it's on the tip of your tongue, and you're like, it's right there, but why can't my brain formulate what I need to say? Yeah, that's the worst. That's the worst. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, getting complimented once and living off of it for months. Would you say that that's a good or a bad thing of like, you're holding on to that and you don't get complimented enough? Or you're like, you know what, this fueled my confidence for the next month and I'm just ready to go on and live and just kill it. I'd say it's probably like a B. I'd say, no. I'd say it's an A. If someone gives you a good, genuine compliment, I definitely think that's like one of the best things ever, because you feel so good about yourself. It's like you don't necessarily dress or do certain things for the compliments, but when somebody just gives you one just because, oh mama, that's great. That's a really good thing. Dang. Let's see what else this list has. Sorry, I'm not more prepared with it. I feel like I just get like this curated list, and then a lot of them I just don't really care about because they're just not really that good of an example. Ooh, seeing someone stronger than you, let's see. No, that's not even a proper question. All right. Seeing somebody warm up with your max weight and they are like around your size, that's the worst. Because you're like, we look the same size. I should be stronger. Why is this dude stronger than me? And you start to feel self-conscious, and it just makes the whole thing worse. The gym, it has pros and cons because you get strong, you feel confident at the same time. Body dysmorphia is a thing, and you compare yourself a lot to other people unless you're like really confident in who you are. It's the worst. Let's see. Oh, posting a story and checking it multiple times to see if someone that follows you, like you mutually follow, viewed your story. So if you think a guy or a girl's cute and you post a story and you feel like you look good, just checking to be like, did they see my story? Am I gonna have to double check? Am I gonna come back? Because when you see it, you see them viewing it, you're like, they like me. They wouldn't have viewed my story if they didn't like me. I think that is probably, I'd say C. It's indifferent, maybe close to D, because I think for the fact that you're allowing yourself to do that, that's embarrassing. But I've done it before, so it is what it is. You got little crusties, buddy. Let's see, is there anything else? Is there any other good ones? I think that's it. I think that's all the good ones that are on this list. So it seems like, depending on the situation, it's going to be more naturally worse for you. Sometimes it's mental. Sometimes you just can't help but feel awkward about certain things. But yeah, let me know what's like the most embarrassing or worst thing and best thing that you feel like has happened to you, kind of similar to this list, that you know, you kind of feel alone with it, but at the same time other people could probably relate to you. But also, I'd like to hear if there's anyone on this list that you didn't agree with my rating. What would you rate it? What one sticks out to you the most out of kind of everything that's been said? And I just want to know what you guys would think about it, right? I guess that's really all I had to talk about today. That's kind of some of the fun things. I feel like there's a lot of things that happen to us that we don't necessarily think more depthly about, that is like, am I like the only person who experiences that, or does everybody else experience the same way? So that's all today. For anybody who's wondering about the wedgies, the next time I get a guest on, I'm going to give them a wedgie. And I think it'll make it fair if I also get one in return, because it seems like you all love the wedgies, and you know, it could be a fun, quirky little thing for, you know, the podcast and whatnot. But now that being out in the open, hopefully I can get people to come back on or come on for the first time, because they probably don't want to get wedgied. But it would be funny regardless. So in regards to that, did I have any detours that kind of threw my week off? No, I wouldn't say anything really threw my week off too much. I'd say it's just normal, nothing like too negative. other than, you know, I guess like a detour in a good way, my family coming into town. So I'm kind of spending more time with them than sitting around. I haven't posted TikToks in a while. I haven't really worked out. I only ran once this last weekend. So yeah, but I'd say that's a good detour. It was like the scenic route rather than just going on, you know, some under construction freeway thing that takes like an hour to get through. And then any hot takes that I may have. What hot takes do I have? I don't know. All right, I got one that I just came up with in my freaking cranium. Spray tanning, I think, is super embarrassing. If you can't go outside and get a normal tan, just don't tan at all. I think it's ugly. I think you could tell when you spray tan. And the fact that you're paying to darken your skin because you don't want to go outside and get some sun, that's embarrassing. So, agree to disagree. I think spray tans are embarrassing. And that really is all for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I'm going to try and come up with more in-depth topics so then, you know, they could potentially be going on longer. I mean, if you guys enjoy the 30-minute ones, great. If you like the hour ones as well, great. I'll try to make the hour ones happen a bit more frequently. But again, it's kind of hard doing it myself. But if you were watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss another episode every single Monday. Every single Monday, 7 a.m. MST. And if you're listening on Spotify, please give us a follow. Please give a rating of 5 stars. I genuinely think we are amazing for what we are at this point. And, you know, we're just going to continue to kick butt. But same thing, 7 a.m. MST, Mountain Standard Time. And I mean, again, I do TikToks and stuff like that. So there's going to be multiple things I'll be posting throughout the week. So if you're like, damn, I really like this guy, I kind of want a little bit more of him, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, check out my TikTok. I think it's Portanoa, something like that. You could probably find me. I'll put it in the description below. I streamed the other day, so I might do some more of that. I'll put my Twitch down below as well. And then I thought about making some more content, and I'm pretty sure I've mentioned in the past, but some like reaction type video stuff. So I'm in the process. Like, I got the equipment and everything. I just need to get the sources of, you know, TikTok videos or stuff like that. Or if you guys have any examples of, not necessarily examples, but things that would be funny to react to in terms of Reddit posts or TikToks, stuff like that, and, you know, have some sources to look into and read or watch, just freaking let me know, because I'm so down into it. But yeah, I'll be making some more content, and I'll be posting those reaction videos on Wednesdays. So when I do, I'll drop the YouTube and I'll let you guys know when it's out. Other than that, everybody, I hope you all, again, have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you next time. Much love.